Today I'm going to teach you about Spring simple web application using Maven and GSP. So you can use any IDE like Spring Source Tool and Eclipse IDE as well as, and you can also use IntelliJ. Okay, so I'm using currently Spring Tool Suite. Okay, so as you can see my screen, click on the File menu and go to New. Click on the project. Here you can type Maven and there is an option to create a new Maven project. Okay, so when you click on this Maven project, then click on the next button, you will again click on the next button, next, and then you can specify the project name you want to specify. Like I'm going to give the name like Spring application here, and the Spring app. Here you can define the package name. Click on the finish. Okay, so after that you will have a new project that is totally based on Spring. On the left package explorer you can see the pom.xml file here, and in the package explorer you can also create a new package as well. Okay, so right now I'm going to write a new web servlet. Okay, right click on the package, okay, and then click on the class. Now a new class, like you can do any name like welcome. Click on the finish. You will have a new class, name is public class welcome. What is welcome? Welcome is a name of class. Okay, it will extend http request. Okay, so to extend this http request, you need to import a particular dependency for the Maven. Go to the browser and download the dependency http request Maven dependency here. Okay, so here is a dependency. So you can copy this particular dependency and copy it, and then go to the pom.xml. In the pom.xml you can see there is a number of dependencies under the column of dependencies, like number 1 this dependency, and you can define the other dependency you want to use. Okay, Control Shift F for you can use to format the code. So right now when you place this dependency in the pom.xml, you will not need to download any kind of jar file, and you don't need to download any other file. It will automatically download the required dependency in the project. Okay, so now as you can see, you need to click on this button. So now you can extend the HTTP servlet. Basically HTTP servlet will do, it will help you to take the request from web browser to get our post. Okay, no need to do anything. Okay, fine. So if you click on here do, you will have a different methods like do delete, do get, do head, do options, do post, do put, and do trace. Most of the time we use only two methods. Number one do get, and the second one is do post. Okay, so right now I'm going to use do get method. Click on this and you will have inbuilt method. Now click on this. Here you are going to use a web servlet. Okay, for this you need to import the annotations. Hold on. So you can go to the Maven dependency as well, web servlets Maven dependency, you can find it out. Click on this and you can see as well. Again go to the pom.xml file and you can see here, click on the, then again click on the welcome file. Click on the import. So the web servlet, now you define a class. This class will work as a servlet. Okay, so this class will work as a servlet. Now you are going to map this, like you will define a URL parameter is equal to, like I'm going to specify any name you want to specify, like this will name welcome. Okay, now I'm going to start this project. Right click on this project and click on the run as. You will get a run on server option. Click on, you will need to define a server. Click on the right click on this project, go to the properties and then project facets. You need to define dynamic web modules and then you can click on the options JAX REST services, apply and close. Then again click on the properties. You will have a targeted runtime. Okay, so you need to add a new runtime in this workspace, like you need to add new Tomcat. Okay, so for this you can use show view, click on the other and here you can see a server option. Okay, then click on the open. You can see there is a no server are available. Click on this button and define the server you want to add. Apache 8.5 currently I'm using. Click on the browse button. You need to download this Apache Tomcat from the internet. Okay, so click on the download button. I have already in my system 8.5.38 version. I'm going to use the Apache Tomcat. Sorry, this is Apache Tomcat 8.5.38. Okay, then click on the GRE, which version you are going to use. Click on next and then click on the add button and then click on the finish. Now you are going to run this project on Tomcat server. You can see here we are using Tomcat 8.5 server at localhost. You can see refreshing server adapter list, it's running now. Let me also open the window for console as well. Okay, so you can see the server is starting or not. Every logs you can. So now let me, it's taking time to start the server. Click on the run server. Yes, fine. Next, finish. Okay, so now the project has been started. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going to hit this in the browser. Okay, so there is an error on the browser. You can see, right click on this browser and then click on the inspect button. Okay, then you will need to click on the network option. Click on the, again refresh it. You will see the, click on the spring button. Here's an error, 404 error. The which method is it is called get method by default called on the hit of this particular URL we have. Okay, using localhost colon 8080 and spring app. Okay, so you need to define the get method here. Do get method here, but we need to define request dot request dispatcher better. First of all, you can use one thing. You can use print writer. Request and response. Okay, so I'm going to define a new JSP file inside the web inf. Right click on this button and then click on a new. I'm going to create a new JSP file here. JSP file. Okay, click on the next button. You will see a new file. We need welcome.jsp. Okay, so this file is inside web enough. Okay, so I'm going to define the path of this particular file, web -inf slash what is the name of file, welcome.jsp. Fine. So what will happen, this particular get method will be called and then this particular JSP will be called. Okay, so I'm going to write anything in this JSP file. Hey buddy, it's working fine. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the server. So you can clean the build as well. Right click on this, run, click on the Maven clean button to clean the build. Okay, you can see the console and again you can click on this run Maven install. Okay, so now again you will start the server. Click on the right click on the run as, run on server. Again next, finish. Okay. So you can see, okay, as you can see it's working fine. So I'm hitting this particular URL from this URL. Okay, suppose I will change this. I will change to any name like Brandon. Okay, so the name is Brandon. Okay, so I'm going to restart this again. I will again calling to this welcome here. So on the click on the welcome, it will hit this particular servlet, and on the by default it will call to this do get method. Okay, on to call this go to do get method call, it will redirect to web enough welcome.jsp file. Okay, so in the JSP file, as you can see, we have write, hey buddy, it's working fine. Okay, so now if I will try it again, what will happen? It's giving me error 404 not found. Okay, because we have changed in the URL pattern. Now what is the URL pattern name is Brandon, so you need to define here is a Brandon, then it will call fine. Okay, so this way you can use it, but right now it's very simple way. Now I'm going to use another method. Like I'm going to click on this package, right click on this package, click on the class and click on the name option. Write down, you can specify any name, but I'm going to define, like, if you want to log in and log out through the Java application through JSP, so it's really easy way. Okay, the name will be login. Okay, so everyone can easily understand me what I'm going to say. Okay, perfect. So click on the new, finish, then click on this login. You will have another file. Okay, so I'm going to make this class as a web servlet, means this class will roll as a web servlet, so you have to define web servlet. Okay, so now you can see, and then you have to extend the HTTP servlet. Okay, so again, now you have to define a URL pattern is equal to, I'm going to define the URL pattern is login. Suppose I'm going to restart this server, and this will give you an error. Okay, let me show you how. I'm going to write here a login. It is a 405 method not allowed because we didn't define any get method or we didn't define any post method. You need to define a method here inside this class. So how you can define the method? Write down do and control enter. You will have a list of methods: do get, do post, do options, but the most commonly used methods are do get and do post. Okay, I will describe it later what is the difference between do get and do post method. Okay, so by default you are going to use do get method, and then you can remove this line. Okay, so now by default I want, when this get method will be called, a new GSP file will be called inside the webinf. The name will be login.jsp file. What will be the name? Login.jsp. Okay, click on this other GSP file. So I don't want to use tag, and then you can use login. Click on the next, finish. Okay, so you have a new method. Okay, I'm going to I think everyone will aware about this form. Let me make a new login form here. Okay, so like I want to enter the suppose anything like email. It will be input. Sorry, I'm just in hurry. The email type will be email, and the name will be, you want to use email, and the password input type is password, right? The name will be is equal to password. Perfect. So again I'm going to add a new button. Input type is equal to submit, the value is equal to login button. Okay, so I'm having a screen for the login screen, right? So you can put it in the center, but I'm not using any framework for the front end side like Bootstrap, and I'm using a simple HTML. Okay, so fine. So on this button I'm going to click on the action button. So on the action it will hit to which particular servlet. I'm going to hit the login servlet. I want to hit a login servlet will be called. Method I want will be used a post method. Okay, so now I need to close these fields, I think. Fine. Okay, perfect. So let me check if it's working fine. Login on the click on this login, the do get method will be called, and then I want request dot forward fine. So I'm going to use here request, and here will be response, and here I want web inf login.jsp file I want to display on the click on this login servlet. Okay, fine. So let me restart this server. I'm going to click on this login. Okay, so now you are having a login.jsp file, but on the URL you will not able to see any extension like .jsp or .html. This is the basic benefit. So you will not appear anything in the URL. Okay, so here I'm using an input box and password as well. Okay, fine. So now I'm going to hit this button, login button. What's happening? It's saying 404. Means when you click on this login button, it will hit this particular method, but the method will be post. But right now in the login.java you can see only do get method is declared. We never declared a do post method. Okay, so you will define a do post method. Okay, so do post, perfect. So I think you're getting me, everyone. So I'm defining a do post method. Now try to hit again this method. Can you try? So maybe you will just hold. Let me restart it. Now you can see here on the login.jsp file, I'm going to hit this login servlet, right? Let me restart it. So you can see here so you can add anything like user email. Suppose I'm going to add any Brandon, and suppose name password will be hidden, and click on the login. It will give you an error because we used type is email address in the login.jsp file. Here you used email input type is email, so it must be a email. Okay, brandon@gmail.com, and you can use here your password. Click on the login button and you will see not found, because you have to define this whole path spring app slash login. Okay, so now you try it out again. Click on this and then click on this login. You can see no error. There is no error. Okay, if you want to see what's happening, okay, right now I want to display a welcome page on the success, like if user successfully added the username or password entered from the user side, it will redirect to welcome.jsp file. Okay, so successfully you have been logged. Okay, now try to see what I'm going to teach you properly, so please concentrate here. Okay, so login. Now what is happening right now on the click of this login.jsp, which method is called, post method or get method? It is by default calling to this particular post method. Okay, so here what I will do, I will do request dot get parameter. What I will do, get parameter. Get parameter means it will take the parameter from the user side. I want to get the email. You have to define the email here. Okay, then you need to define the string email is equal to. Now the other thing, you want to access the password, request dot get parameter. The name of the next parameter is password. Okay, so I think the next parameter is, yes, the name is password. Perfect. So then you have to define in the login.java password. So now if you want to display this out, you can display if you receive the email or password, you can easily just take the printout, and then you can this is your password if you want to display, but there is no need to display this password, we can use. Okay, so let's try it out if it's working fine from the user side. Okay, I'm going to again click on this login. Okay, so here I'm going to add this particular user 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. You will click on this login button, and on the console you will see the email is printed. Means from the front end, form, you can enter anything and it will be received in the controller. Okay, so easily, so you can do one thing. So you can set this attribute like request dot set attribute. Okay, like you will set this attribute name, like you can set email. Okay, so the email will be received in this particular area. Okay, and request dot set attribute, and what is the password we are using. Okay, so you can use here emails in the small way. So now I want to display a welcome.jsp after this successfully. So here I want to use on this body, you can use, I think you can use simple your email ID is the dollar and then braces. What is the name of the variable you used? Email. Okay, so you will use here email. Okay, fine, and your password is $, and in this form you're using this key, and you will define here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so but I need to move this request dispatcher. Okay, fine. Anything left? Okay, fine. I think it's left. Perfect. Now I want to use this after this. Okay, so here I'm going to use welcome.jsp. Okay, so let's check if it's working fine. So you can see here, hey buddy, it's working fine. Your email ID is sunnyvarma83@gmail.com and the password is 1234567. Got it? So like if you enter anything else like this one and the password is test, click on the login, you can see here the email and the password. Okay, so now I want to test if the email ID and password is similar to the database, then you can redirect to welcome page, otherwise it will display error, invalid password or username, whatever you want to display. Okay, so here I will do one thing like if the received email, where you received this email, in the email form, email dot equals ignore case with what, sunnyvarma83@gmail.com. okay, if this is similar to sunnyvarma83@gmail.com, then it will redirect to otherwise it will redirect to login page. I'm going to stop this server at the moment because it's not letting me to. Now you can go to the login.jsp Okay, so you can also set request dot set attribute, the error, uh, you can set the error invalid you email or password. Okay, so on the login.jsp you can use this keyword to display if their error exists. Okay, so you can on the top side you can write on dollar and the error. That's it. Okay, so I'm using .gsp. If this is equal to Sunny Verma 83, it will go to the welcome.jsp. Otherwise, it will go to the login.jsp. With it will also add the error message. Okay, so let me try it out. If it's working fine, I'm going to here login. Now I'm going to use another email ID test dot 123 blah blah. Then click on this login. It's giving me an error, invalid email or password. Okay, if you are going to use sunnyverma83 at gmail.com, a password, I didn't add any validation in the backend side for the password. You can also add the validation for the password as well. So I'm going to add any password. So then click on the login. It will redirect to the welcome.jsp. Hey buddy, it's working fine. Your email ID is sunnyverma83 and your password is fine. I think it's really easy to do working with a Spring and JSP. In the next session, I will complete this video, login, logout, and everything, like how to maintain this session. Thank you so much.